What's up, family? It's your girl, Azili Almaz, and you already know I'm always giving you the best seat in the house. I am here with Mr. J, Unique I himself, the visual curator, the Hope Missions founder, the visionary, the travel curator of Through the Lens, Mr. Portrait Studio Truck, Mr. Help Open People's Eyes, Jermaine Gibbs. Help me welcome him. Woo! Thank you for coming all the way from Baltimore, Maryland to join us today.
Thank you for the invitation.
How was the way here?
It was easy.
It
like
was?
an hour and 10-minute ride, so it was smooth.
Oh, okay, so good. So then the next time we decide to book you for the second time, you'll be able to join us without a problem.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So did you get anything to eat when you got here?
I did.
Okay, tell us about that. Where you go?
We went to Booker's Restaurant. It was a great experience. Black-owned restaurant. Food was good. Service was good. Good location. So it was a good vibe.
What you end up getting?
What did I had the French toast. Then I had the Booker Special, which is a Hennessy cocktail.
Okay.
And then I had the carrot cake was absolutely amazing.
Oh, it was? See,
Yeah.
I gotta try that when I go. That's one of the Philly top favorite spots.
Okay.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
Yeah, it was definitely worth it.
Okay. So highly recommended. Booker's in West Philly. Go check them out. Black owned. The funny thing is, I was having a conversation with Aaron, and I was like, you know what Jermaine's favorite line is? And he was like, what? I said, is it black owned? Is it black owned? And so he said that your favorite line is for real. So what's some other favorite lines that you've heard other people say that you say? What's some of their favorite lines?
Ooh, I gotta think. Dang. So normally when somebody come in my house, they say hello, and I always say, how you doing? So now when some people come to my house, they won't say hello, they say, how you doing?
How you doing? I'm cracking up. So we want to do, a little bit of stuff in this conversation because the last time I saw you, you didn't have locks.
No.
You didn't have your lock journey, and that was at Suda and Black. So, walk us through. Tell us how you got here, this lock journey. Yeah, I want to know.
So I had locks from 2000 to 2007.
Okay.
And then I found out I was having a son, which was my first child.
Beautiful.
And I was like, well, I think I just want to have a fresh start, so I cut him off. But then I was like, okay, now I'm at the line where I just had my third child, which is my last child.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I think I want to start my lock journey again. And one of the reasons why I really like having locks is it's a process. It don't look good when it start. It's a lot of maintenance. I'm used to perfection, walking out the house looking a certain way. And now I have to be like, okay, one, I have to adapt and adjust to this is how, if you want to get to a certain thing, you got to go to the process no matter how it look, no matter if you uncomfortable because it's not the normal you. It's a patience and it's a process. So I'm like, okay, this is again, but I know once it get to where I want to be, I'm gonna look back and say, man, I survived that journey. So that's what it was. And this, it's back to the roots and just, letting your hair breathe and not have to, sometimes we just got the short hair. I tend to wash my hair 2-3 times a week. And all of those different things is now like, just fall back, enjoy the ride, let your hair grow naturally, let it breathe and be back to your roots.
I like that. So would you say that you're in a stage or a space in your life, like a flow state where, you're transitioning, but at the same time, you're allowing God to just guide you through the process that you're going through?
Absolutely. I'm about to be 50 next year, which is a huge milestone.
Okay.
So I'm at that place where I've done all the same things for so many different years. It's like, okay, it's time to go to the next level in life, the next season in life. And I'm halfway at 100 next year. So it's like, I got to change a lot of different things. So I'm just allowing God to come in, put me in the right spaces, connect me with the right people, give me the right resources, and just flow. And that's literally what's been happening in 2024.
So let's talk about that a little bit further. Because one thing I will say, you are Mr. You gonna get a word. You gonna have some biblical stuff on your post, and you also gonna have a song. And I did take the scripture for today, which was First Thessalonians 2:11 and 12. I'm going to read it for the people who don't know. All right. So it say, "For you know that we dealt with each of you as a father deals with his own children, encouraging, comforting, and urging you to live lives worthy of God, who calls you into his kingdom and glory." So that scripture you posted, what made you post that particular scripture?
So, um, in 2019, I was going through a rough patch in my life. And I kind of like went off the grid for a couple weeks. And one of the things that I started doing was reading the Bible scripture. And I'm a huge lover of gospel music. So that's all that I listen to that all day, every day. But then something said, you know what, you should share it with the world, because this is maybe, since you have so many people that follow you, you never know one who may need that word, who that word may help somebody guide them through the day. So I had my alarm set for 5:30 in the morning. No matter where I'm at in the world, I get up, I read the scripture. It's the Bible app, and it's literally, I have it set where it just curates the word, a different scripture every day. But for some reason, it's always spot on for what I need at that particular time. And I share that in a song, and it's amazing how people reach out. It's like, man, I needed that word. Man, that was a good song. I had that thing. I got that thing on repeat.
No,
So
for real.
literally, I've been doing it since 2019. So now I'm officially. Oh wait, 2 days ago, what makes 5 years I've been doing it.
Oh wow. Woo! Congratulations. Got you sitting there at the right time. Okay, so I love that because I definitely did check the song out too. So let me see. I did write it down for those who may want to listen. It was called Now. MCG. Is
Yep.
it MCG? Okay, yep. And it was somebody else. I can't remember the
I can remember. So it's them, and then they have a surprise guest. But again, the same way I just open my phone up, and I just kind of scroll, and I just pick a random song, or
Yeah.
sometimes it's just something new I don't know. I'll listen to it, and I will only listen to the first line.
Yeah.
And if that first line get me, then I know, because if I'm putting it out there and somebody have no clue what it is, if it don't get their attention in that first line, that first 10 seconds, then it's not gonna get them. So I always try to make sure that the song is something that, okay, yeah, oh, I needed that. And it's always a song that's gonna speak life, or help you in a situation that you may be in, or that you may be going through, or you just came out of.
Yep, and I love that because I'm a firm believer when it's a quote that says, "When words fail, music speaks," and I like strongly believe that. And when I started playing the song this morning, I was letting the song play, and then it went into a whole playlist of other songs, and I said, "Oh, this is good," you know. So I want to say thank you for allowing God to use you, because I do see it as a ministry. And one thing that's kind of frustrating on social media is we see a lot more negative than we see positive, depending on who you're following. So I'm appreciative that I follow someone who's intentional about what they post, right? And so when it comes to us talking about that, I want to dive into who you are as an individual, as a photographer, as a visual storyteller. So we may be familiar with you, but some people may not. So what are some things that you want to either highlight throughout your journey or tell us about yourself that we may not know?
So, first of all, I'm a man of God, which people look on my page, they can see. You won't see me posting a whole bunch crazy stuff. Now, I do have a balance, because I do go out, I have friends, I have fun. I'm a father of 3 kids. I'm a family man. I'm a huge into the philanthropy world. So I've been traveling throughout the continent of Africa since 2016. In 2018, I started Hope Missions, which is a nonprofit that focuses on clean water, education, and infrastructure. The acronym is to help open people's eyes. So every year I've been doing a mission trip where I'm bringing different people into the country, and by taking them into the rural areas, the bush, and to be able to see stuff, my goal is that it will open their eyes, and they will not go back home the way they came.
And I do feel that you strongly do that, because when I went to Student in Black, I saw so many people who was touched by that, as well as it looked like it was so much joy being felt like in the atmosphere with everyone who was there. So how do you select who you're going to pick to take to open their eyes?
So really, it's kind of a organic process. I just kind of have conversations, and people hear about it. I never market on social media because I'm not just trying to get people who, one, I don't want to take people there and they just want to take pictures and post them on social media and belittle people. I never want to do that.
Yes.
I want to make sure that people who are actually going have, one, a heart to give, to be able to love on people, because the people will touch on you and stuff. And some people may not be 100% smelling good. So you have to be able to be in the right mindset to be able to accept that.
Yeah.
Because the one thing that I've learned over the years of doing this is, a lot of times we go to these third world countries and we think we are really helping the people. But then when in the middle of the trip, I always like to sit down and have like a powwow and just ask people 3 questions. So far, what has been the one thing that touched you? What are your takeaways? And how has this changed your outlook on Ghana or just being on the continent? Because most people, it's their first time. And to sit back and hear some of the stories, and I always hear a few words that I constantly hear, and it is and I took a good friend of mine this year who had planned this big conference in Miami, and the weather was awful, and literally it was and I was supposed to go, but my flight got canceled due to the weather. So we supposed to be there Wednesday through Friday, fly home Saturday, and then literally fly to Ghana on Sunday. I didn't go, but a lot of them went. And he said the crazy part is he kind of lost his joy because things didn't flow the way it was supposed to flow.
Yeah.
And he said it wasn't until he got to Ghana and started moving and really had some time to just be in the room that he realized the joy that he thought he was going to get in Miami, it actually came in Ghana. So it's like, that's one of the big words people say every time, man, this gave me joy.
Yeah.
It gave me hope.
Yeah.
It gave me a sense of compassion. It gave me the sense of it's no reason for me to ever complain, because on my worst day, these people have way more than what I have.
Yeah.
So it's like all of those takeaways is what pushes me to keep doing, because it's a lot, because between the planning, financial, like I pay out of my pocket to do all of this stuff. It's not like somebody giving me money and just say, here, let me help you do this. No. So it's the time, it's the commitment, it's the blood, literally the blood, sweat, and tears. But the impact, like this year, we was able to do 2 wells while we were there. We had 25 people. So we was able to bring over 1,000 pounds of school supplies and clothes. We was able to have a 2-night revival. So just the impact alone made all the year of planning and all the setbacks and all the things that was going wrong on this, made it all worth it.
Yeah. And you can hear that God is all in that and everything you do. And I know that you've traveled to a lot of different places, but what made Ghana so special for you?
I think it was just it just pulled on my heart, and I just felt something. I felt a different type of love that I never felt before, and I think it was just God saying, "This is where I need you to be at." And then going into the bush and sitting down, when we built our first well in 2018, and sitting down and talking to brothers who are in their early 30s, and they tell you that, "Thank you so much for coming here and build this well." In my 30 plus years of living, I've never had clean water. So for me to sit back and say, man, how did I even get here? I was invited there to come as a photographer one year, went back the following year on my own, do research, and said, man, I got to come back and help. And then I never stopped going. I only missed 1 year, and that was because of COVID.
Yeah. So you're doing major work there and everywhere else. You have Suda and Black. You also do the Black men's wear. You also do everything else. Like what don't you do? Like what don't you do? How do you just find the space to just keep going? Like you never miss. Like you are one of the people I know who are very creative, like who literally whatever they set their mind to, they complete it. But when I tell you your ideas and how you create things, it's just like he never missed. Like how, like another one, like another banger, like it's like you just never miss. How did you come to that person? How do you find the strength and capacity to just keep going and just make these connections and just stay fired?
I think what it is really is passion. I always tell people I don't get moved by money or clout or wanting to be at the face of anything. It's always passion. When you put passion, you put God and just say, God, take the wheel and lead me in the right direction. He connect me with the right people, the right resources. And he just give me the ideas. Like everything I do is just like it be the middle of the night. I'm laying down. It's like, oh my God, this idea, this hit me. And then sometimes I'll keep it until I wake up in the morning, and then I'll just write the whole thing out. And I'm like, and then it's like when it comes to actually bringing it to life, I'm one of those people who will work extremely hard because it's one thing to be a boss. But it's a whole nother thing to not just be a boss, but to be a leader, but also to be the person who will get their hands dirty. So I'm not the person that say, I want to get this done, do this, do that. No, I'm going to say it, but I'm also going to do the work.
Yeah.
So when people see that, it's, oh no, I'll eat. Yeah. It's a pleasure to work with that guy because not only do he come up with the creative ideas and concepts, but he actually put the work into it.
No, for sure. You definitely do. And if we could just think back, because when I think about like from when we first, like you did my first like photo shoot. And so when you think about where you started and then now, even like me sitting on this chair, like us both on the camera, what does that tell you about the hard work and the dedication and the passion that you have?
I think if you continue to put your best foot forward, and no matter how, because as creatives, you get creative burnout. I mean, that's just you constantly go. And that's why I create these, what I call passion projects. So my passion project, Suited in Black History, was a passion project.
Okay.
The Great Campaign, passion projects. Those are projects that I don't get a penny. Nobody pay me. I come up with the ideas, come up with the concepts, and I invest the money and time into it. But also when people see the work, they are blown away.
Oh no, for sure. And this is how I know you fire. I've never been to an event and they had the actual cigars being rolled up. When you had the black girl, and she's an entrepreneur, like we could shout her out. We'll add her information. She was rolling personalized cigars. I said, "Oh yeah, this some fly food stuff. This I like this." And then you also had the gentlemen in the suit. They was able to pick out a suit. Everything about it was excellence, and that's what I appreciate about your work. It just exudes excellence, as well as the heart that you have for people. Also shows. So there is a flash mob coming up. Okay, so tell us about that.
So this is my 5-year anniversary for the flash mob.
The crazy thing is number 5 is a good number for me. That was my softball number. A lot of people don't know I play softball. But go ahead, 5 years.
So yeah, 5 years. Next weekend is actually the same weekend 5 years ago in DC that I actually did my first one. And it was the weekend that what is his name? Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman passed away, and we did that shot that broke the internet and millions of people. Shout out to my business partner Rock Mitchell, who shot the video. And that was our first time working with Black menswear.
Yes.
And we came in and we gave that thing our all, and they brought us on, and we've been rocking with them for the last 5 years. We've been all around the world with them, from Paris to Ghana. I mean, we done been to so many states I can't even keep track.
Ooh,
but it's good to be close to home, because the one thing I like about DC is there's so many architectural buildings and all that. But you'll have the people from DC, Virginia, Maryland, New York, New Jersey, Philly. Then you'll get people flying in from Charlotte, and we haven't really had one since June, and that was in Nashville. So like, this is the big official open for the year. And normally we kick it off in March. We did Oakland, but of course not a lot of people came to Oakland. But DC, we probably right now have about 600 brothers signed up.
Wow.
So it's going to be major.
It sounds like it, because it says that the purpose is, but I think it said community networking and brotherhood.
Yes.
And so that's what it seems like you all exude. So tell us about those 3 pillars.
So one is about changing, and one of the biggest things is about changing the narrative of Black men. And no better way, when people see a Black man in a suit, is just a different level of respect that people give you. So being able to see brothers come together, and a lot of them don't even know each other. And this is the first time when I first started doing this. What kept me around was to be able to see. I've never seen unity of black men and black excellence and business owners, philanthropy. I mean, all different people from all different walks of life, all religions come together as one collective.
Yes.
And now it's turned into like a whole weekend thing. So on Friday, we'll be hosting a health panel, which is, because again, it's not just about coming together in the suits and all that, but it's like, what's the impact? So a lot of things we've been doing in Oakland, we went to a shelter and helped pack bags to give to the homeless. In another city, there was a shelter for women and kids. They couldn't afford to have cleaning company. So 30 brothers showed up and we cleaned the entire building. So it's those things that really keep me around, other than just, the pictures are nice, but it's like, no, how can you bring this many black men together and don't make something out of it?
Yeah, it's really a brotherhood. So I'm big on relationships, and so when you think about like the brotherhood and the sisterhood that we are privileged to experience, like everyone doesn't have the opportunity to experience that. So how do you define, or how could you guide somebody to basically be around like-minded people, but also build that tribe?
So I think one of the big thing, and this is what they do. Once you sign up, they create a group me and they put all the brothers in there. And again, it's not just, okay, why not take advantage of, you're connected to most cities is a minimum of 250 guys in that group chat. So people are saying, hey, I make suits, I have a nonprofit, I do this, I'm a mentor, I do this. So it's like, and the goal is not just this to happen in the city and then if it just die. No, these brothers are continuing to have conversations. They connecting outside of the flash mob and doing business together, hosting events together. So it's that sense of unity and really being able to, man, that I need a brother. Some people need accountability partner. So you come and you may be standing to a brother, ask their name, and then you start talking, and then it's like, oh wow, I know.
Yeah.
And then it's just, again, for me, it's all, I'm a relationship builder. That's why my business has been so successful, because it hasn't been money driven. It's been relationship driven.
Yep. Yes. Because I'm like, I don't know, for the past couple years, I've really, because we're in this culture of like grind culture. Everybody want to grind. But I'm like, Lord, can I have ministry over money at this point? Like, I'm tired of grinding. I don't want to grind. So I think for the past couple years, I've been focusing on ministry over money. And I've seen how it's definitely like shift the trajectory of my life. And I do want to say, one time when I came to Student in Black, I did see a couple people from Philly there, and I said, oh, this is major. Like, this is really major. So to know that you all built that level of community and that they're willing to travel and commute, not just from Philly, but from other states, it really shows how profound the relationships are in the community that you all built. What else do you have coming up? What new business ventures have you embarked on? Tell us more about the studio truck.
So 4 years ago, I had a vision to start a mobile studio. Again, for me, I always tell people I want to be like a mixture of McDonald's and Apple. And people say, why those two? Well, McDonald's has something on the menu that everybody can afford. Apple is super innovative. Anything Apple bring out, people will buy. So if you can combine those two things together, and you have a good sense of being a people's person. Because I talk to a lot of people and they scared to have photo shoots because they had a bad experience with this photographer. With me, for me, photography is a sense of therapy for me. When I'm behind the camera, I block out all the other things that's happening. And not only that, when people trust to come in front of a total stranger camera and they depended on you to deliver something, is, so it's like, okay, I got a job to do. I have one job and I had to get it done right. So I always thought of how you doing, the basic, and then I'll take a couple of show them. Is that me? No, it's really you.
Yes.
I'm just the artist behind it that's capturing it. So, for me, every picture is a part of history. Because if I take a picture right now, 2 minutes from now is history because you can't go back and redo it. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, for me, I love photography because it's the art of documenting history.
Mm-hmm.
It's the art of telling a story. And then when somebody passes away, it's memories.
Yes.
So when I'm behind the camera, I'm thinking about all those things. What I used to do is just have an idea of, I'm gonna take 1,000 pictures and give it to the people thinking, oh, I've done something. No,
Yeah.
it's bigger than that.
Yeah.
What I always tell new photographers, because I had a young man I sat down with the other day, and he was getting creative burnout, and I started telling him, explain, and he was delivering way too much. I said, no. I said, you're shooting just so you can say, I'm giving you 300 to 400 pictures. I said, well, I want you to really think before you shoot.
Yeah.
Think before you shoot, because then you won't just taking a whole bunch of pictures. You'll be like, I like to give people wow photos.
Yeah.
So when they see it, wow, that's me. Oh my God, can you send that to my phone right now? I like that type of energy.
Yes.
And it's,
yes.
again, it's not about, and I appreciate being in a corporate space when it comes to photography, because you understand, I can come shoot a corporate event for 5 hours. I don't need to give you 5,000 pictures, because you're not going to do anything with those pictures. They're not going to make it to the website. They're going to do nothing. But if I give you a good, solid 50 to 75 pictures that when people see it, they want to be like, oh, I want to be that next one. That's what it's more about. So it's all about giving quality over quantity.
Yes, that's a good one too. So tell us and guide us through, how do you get into the mental space when you know you're about to go and work on like a big project, or you have something to film or something to shoot? What's the mental space that you put yourself in, and how do you get there?
I think it's really preparation. So whenever I know I got a big shoot, I start planning. And once I talk to the client, and if it's a big thing, I like to, let's sit down or let's get on Zoom and really, tell me your ideas, what your vision is. Because I don't want this thing being to be 100% my vision. And then I'm going to say, take what you want, and then I'm going to give my creative spin on it and say, okay, this is how we're going to approach this. We're going to do X, Y, Z, blah, blah. And it's, oh, I like that. I like that. And then it's all the preparation leading up to it. I just don't book a shoot and just show up and it's all right. And it got to be some thought into it. That's when you can tell, because when you see the images, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
So it's that preparation, that mental preparation. It's that spiritual preparation. It's preparing the person. So when they come, they are low at ease. They done had this conversation. They kind of know what to expect. They know how the flow of the shoot gonna go. Versus somebody come and they have no clue. They're gonna be nervous.
That's so true. And you mentioned something earlier about history and everything. You made history when you have your art in some exhibits.
Yes. So,
okay.
So I remember when I started this journey in 2012. I'm a writer, so I used to write a lot. But what I do is I write out everything I want for the year, or just sometimes I may randomly just, okay, here's a list of things I want.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I wrote, as an African American, I don't really call myself a photographer. I call myself a visual storyteller, because that's what I'm doing. The greatest accomplishment, I think, as for a Black man, for me, was to be featured in the Smithsonian, not just any Smithsonian, but the newest African American history and culture in Washington, D.C. And I put that on my list. And 3 years later, I was at Mondawmin Mall where the ride started. And a gentleman tapped me on my shoulder, because I had like 2 cameras. And he said, are you a real photographer, or you just somebody out here that's taking pictures? And I said, no, I'm actually a real photographer. He said, all right, give me your card. Gave him my card. 2 weeks later, I get this email. Hey, I'm the guy, I met you in the parking lot.
Yeah.
But I noticed I don't see any of the pictures from the riots on your website. I said, oh, well, I wasn't planning on putting them on there. But before I even responded back, I scrolled to the bottom of the email, and it said curator for the National Museum of African American History and Culture. Now, at this time, they wasn't even open. They didn't open until 2017. This was in 2015. We started having conversations. And I said, somebody's scamming me. This is a joke. Ain't nobody from no Smithsonian reaching out to me. That guy couldn't have been in the Smithsonian. And then I responded back. And then we took a call the next day, and we got on the phone, and he said, I looked at your work. And back then I was doing a lot of church stuff. And people was like, why church? Well, again, it's the history. And I love shooting in churches because it's one of the places where you can get the most emotions. It's a lot of stories that's happening, a lot at the same token. And I used to call myself a sniper because nobody would see me. I would just be in the cut, just bop, bop, bop. But every picture was a moment, like getting a tear running down a person's face and all that stuff. And he said, I see all this great work, but I don't see those pictures. I said, I'm not going to share them with the world. That's why. And he said, how can we see it? And I said, well, I can come to DC tomorrow. I'll bring my laptop and everything. And he was like, no, we're not going to do that. Because again, we're in a building phase, so we don't even have a place. So he said, me and the chief curator will come to you. I said, no, this is a joke. And they came to my house. I put together this little 5-minute presentation. I hooked up my computer up, played it for them. And 2 minutes into it, they said, stop. And they said, how can we get this stuff? I said, well, if you give me a flash drive, I'll give it to you right now. He put out the flash drive. I gave it to him. It was about 1,100 pictures.
Wow.
And then we started having conversations, and they said, all right, we narrowed it down. We chose 19 pictures. I said, what? And then they had their first soft opening that was only for invited guests and sponsors. And it was an exhibition called More Than a Photo. So I had 3 pieces of my artwork in there. And when I went there, it was just like mind blowing. Cause I'm like, this can't be real, but it's real because I'm seeing it. And I was just like, wow. And then that exhibition ended, and I was like, okay, well, I made my accomplishment. And then about 2 years later, they reached back out. And I asked them, I said, what did y'all do with the pictures that was in the exhibit? I would love to get my hands on it. He said, oh no, we don't get rid of that. He said, what we did was we put that on the top executive level. So Oprah Winfrey has an office there, and when all the executives come, they have these meetings, they walk down this hall, the pictures are on the wall. So they put the pictures there. So the pictures are always in eyesight of people. So they was doing another exhibition called The Reckoning. And that's still there. It's probably been there for almost 4 years now. And they sent me this picture, said, we want to use this picture. And it was one of my favorite shots. And not knowing that I was going to get there and it was going to be this huge mural that's probably about 20 feet high and about 30 feet wide. And I remember the first time I walked in there and seen it, I said, oh my God, this is insane. And what I did was I stood to the side and I watched people as they come in. And I said, what do you think about that photo? And they said, man, it's just speechless.
Wow.
I said, you want to meet the artist? And they said, yeah, where you at? I said, it's me. They said, wow. And then we start having conversations because I just like to get what people, a sense of people, what they're feeling when they see it and the emotions. Because some people I didn't say anything because I could just look at them and see that they was just thinking, like the older people probably thinking about, man, I remember with the rise back in the 60s and all those different things. So for me, like sometimes when you get an X-rated boner, it's good to go to a exhibition and just get that fire burning back in you. So I did that, and then last year they called me again. And they was doing 50 years of music, and they did a publication where there was going to be 10,000 copies they was going to be sending from here to the UK. And they asked for my photo again, and I said, oh my God, I asked for one, and they just, so it's like, but it's just a huge blessing. So I think what it is when you, like, I'm a giver naturally. And I always tell people, when you sow, every time you reap a harvest, it's not going to be money. For me, I'd rather have opportunities than money. Because those opportunities can turn into money. So it's like when you stay humble, you walk in your true identity of who you are. You are a lover of people. And if you do what the Bible said, if you take care of the least of these, which are the homeless, the people who can never give you anything back, you'll never want for anything. And I'm a living witness I'm walking in the testament of that scripture.
No, you really are. And the funny thing is, you basically covered most of my questions that I had to finish out that I had to finish out the interview. But is there anything that you haven't had a chance to shed light on, or that you haven't had a chance to say that you feel compelled to say right now before we conclude?
Yeah. We started talking about the portrait truck, then I got sidetracked.
Okay.
So yeah, about 4 years ago, I had a vision to build a mobile studio.
Okay.
Because I wanted to do something innovative, and I wanted to something that I could actually bring to people. So I sat on it 4 years, did a whole bunch of research, and started having some conversations in January, and in May it came to life, and now it is living, breathing. We just did an interview on one of the local news channels, so they'll be releasing that story next week. My summer was super crazy busy with a contract that I've been on for 13 years.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really push it, but now it's like, okay, now is the time to really push this. So I'm really looking forward to. So what our goal is like my corporate clients, or just say there's a conference coming in the city.
Yeah.
And people need headshots. But you don't want to go inside and set up all the space. Everybody got to go in the building. So before you go in the building, you could come right in the trailer. It's 100% heat, air conditioned, TV. We got a refrigerator. It's really, we got the red carpet. So it's a full experience.
Yes.
And we have it where you can either get the picture right away, or if you want to retouch it, we can send it to you in 24 hours.
Yes. Oh my God. So was this one of them things that you was thinking about at night, and then you woke up and you wrote it down, and then God manifested into this?
So no, it started marinating to me one night again. I got right up, got on my, sometimes I sleep with my iPad right there.
Okay.
So I just grabbed my iPad and I start looking. Is any companies doing this here? And it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was a couple countries doing it, and out of the country, there was a couple people doing similar. Like one person in North Carolina, they focus on pets.
Yeah.
One small family, and there's one guy in New York who took a food truck and turned it into, he called it the headshot truck.
Okay.
But his strictly headshot. So mine is like, let's just say, for the last 4 years, the 360 has been the thing. But it's like, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
So this could be what's next. So like you have an event.
Yes.
You have an outdoor wedding, and your decorator can come in here and decorate the trailer to match the aesthetic of that.
Yes.
So your guest could come in this trailer, take that picture, and we also partner with a AI software company. So I could literally tell you, scan this QR code, upload a selfie. Any picture you come in during the entire event, you will get a text and come to your phone and say you've been spotted in the photo, and send you the photo right then and there.
What?
You will only get the pictures that you're in only. Whether you have sunglasses on, glasses, the AI will recognize you and send you the picture.
Oh, okay. So where can we find you again when it comes to the studio trip?
Oh, so we are accepting bookings in Maryland, DC, Pennsylvania, and Virginia.
Y'all hear him now. You better lock in and get loaded, because I'm telling you, listen, it sounds lit. Well, if you could give 1 to maybe 3 words to basically describe your experience on today's show, what would you say?
So I've been in the last 3 months on probably 3 podcasts. This was probably the easiest one, the most free-flowing one, and I didn't have to think about my answers. This is why I never want to know the questions beforehand, because I have to think about it and then try to remember the answers. Like, no, I like an organic approach.
Yeah.
So I can just flow with it. And I think, one of the things I truly appreciate is that you took time to research.
Yeah.
Where a lot of people just say, oh, they went on my Instagram profile and they grab something from there, but they don't really do any research to see who I am outside of stuff that I post.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's like, oh, you really touch on the things that matter to me.
Yeah.
So I think when that happens, it pours out. It hits my heart, and the passion pours out, and it's a easy flow.
Oh, good. Well, come on now. Y'all better book with me next week. Y'all hear him. Well, I want to say thank you so much, because you are definitely a busy person. So for you to take the time out of your busy day, your busy schedule, to come to Philly and to sit down with me, I am truly appreciative. It's been a pleasure and a privilege for just giving the people the best seat in the house. And we have did that today. So you want to give them your Instagram handles?
Yes. So my Instagram is J_uniquei__. And then for the it's Portrait Truck Studio. And then if you want to know more about my nonprofit, is Hope Missions Ghana.
Yep, y'all heard them. So go ahead and follow, like, subscribe, and definitely connect and support as well. You already know it's your girl Azili Almaz, always giving you the best seat in the house. Mwah.